Meet me. Welcome back, my friends, to another First Impressions video. I have not seen this video yet. I don't know anything about this hero, so this will be a true first impression. At first I thought it was like ML Biken or something when I saw it, to be honest. But it is the next RGB hero, Water Thief. Let's just go through and learn about this hero together. So we're going to skip all this stuff. You can watch it on your own. Why does it keep giving me weird language subtitles? Okay, so we don't care about any of this. You guys can watch that on your own. Don't care about his storyline. Let's look at his stats. So, decent attack. Holy bejesus. 129 base speed. So I think he's the fastest character in the game. Ron is 129, I believe, and then I think everyone else that's quote-unquote fast is 128, like Acid and stuff, right? So, okay, we have probably, well, literally the fastest character in the game, I think. I don't think there's anything faster than 129. Built-in crit chance, low defense, effect resistance, imprint release, and self. So it looks like some kind of counter initiator or speed initiator, obviously from this insane demented speed. Alright, so let's watch the skills. So they start off with the S2. Right away you see the extra turn, so you know that this is what he's supposed to use before he starts his attack. Mental Focus. Grants immunity to all allies for 2 turns before giving himself a self-attack buff. Seems pretty cool. Although a lot of teams would just start with immunity anyway, and obviously with this guy's speed, he's going to go before all of them. But still cool. Still cool. Let's see it.
공격력 증가를 발생시킵니다. 자신에게 추가 턴이 발생합니다.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this example kind of shows exactly what they're trying to do here. So they did a nice showcase here. They did it against Hippolytus because she's rampant in Arena. So this is a good way for him to deal with Hippolytus, right? Because what does Hippolytus do? You open with a non-attack skill, and then she strips everything, and then you drop all your immunities. But if you open with Rand now, because it's a 2-turn immunity, and because Hippolytus only returns buff durations by 1, you get to keep all your immunities, and your team isn't immediately shut down by Hippolytus. And even if she S3s, Hippolytus's S3 doesn't strip, so you're pretty safe from that too. So it's like a pseudo Hippolytus counter here. I like it. It's good. It's good. S3. Attacks all enemies with a sword, dispelling 2 buffs before an 80% chance to inflict stigma, what the hell stigma, and a 65% chance to defense break for 2 turns, and a self-skill nullifier, and damage dealt increases proportion to the caster and the target speed. So a lot of good stuff here. What the hell stigma? Decreases amount recovered, like health recovered, I guess, and combat readiness increase by 50%. So it's like a Hippolytus then, except you need to apply the debuff. So what is it, like a decreased amount recovered by what? Like, some of you geniuses always know the answer. I'm assuming it's health and combat readiness reduction by 50%. So that's pretty cool. And the soulburn is ignore effect resistance. I can't talk today. Ignore effect resistance. At Mola, 100% chance to apply the stigma, and an 85% chance to death break. So not a 100% death break, but ignores effect resistance. And it's an attack, and it has a 2 buff strip, so even FCC doesn't stop it. This seems like a pretty insane initiation hero so far, guys. Let's watch it.
스킬 데미지 부여 1회를 발생시킵니다. 자신과 대상의 속도에 비례해 피해량이 증가합니다. 소울 20개 사용 시 효과.
Okay, so the damage isn't too hot, but it's also not that bad. So FCC took 7k, but that's because of Aureus But I don't know this FCC's HP, but let's assume there was like a 3k barrier on everyone. Hit everyone for about 5k with the attack buff and no debuffs on them. But the thing is, that's not bad considering he's a 129 base speed hero, and considering that he just applied all these debuffs and death broke their entire team. Seems pretty spicy. I'm smelling a lot of spice here. I'm digging it. I feel like they released a bunch of underwhelming heroes in the recent past, and now they're starting to release heroes that seem a little bit overtuned, like AOL was the start of that trend. But this seems kind of super strong. Skill 1, this is probably boring. Attacks the enemy with Snowstorm. Basically, it's a built-in pen set, a little bit better. I think pen set's 15%, this is 20%. And damage dealt increases proportional to speed. Okay, nothing too special there, it's just an attack. Artifact. Sword of Winter Shadow. Increase attack by 15%. Not fantastic, but not bad because there's no condition. So it's like half of a 3-stack Violet Talisman. But again, there's no condition on it, so it's pretty good. When using a non-attack skill, has a 100% chance to remove 15 souls from the enemy. Is this like a war on souls? Because it's weird, because the way his kit works, it almost sounds like you're supposed to use him with cleave, but then his artifact almost seems like it's anti-cleave, right? Because you typically don't care about removing a bruiser team's souls. I mean, it's nice, but I wonder if people even use this. Like, if his damage is good enough, maybe they'll just put him on, like, Symbol or Portrait or something. But we'll see. So what do I think about this hero? Honestly, this alone, to me, makes him super viable. The same way pretty much all the really fast heroes in the game generally have some use. Like, pretty much, if you can't think of a use for them, just use them as anti-cleave, because they could be built really fast. Like, things like, you know, like Kitty Clarissa and Crescent Moon Rin and stuff. But I mean, this is really good. The thing is, I don't really know how important it is for, like, you know, like, I don't think you could just stick him in a random bruiser draft unless you're bringing him just to speed contest. I honestly don't think this is that much value for a bruiser team, because bruiser teams aren't going to run into Politis all that much. I guess there are other reduce, turn duration things out there, like Cerise and stuff. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but in general, this seems like a Politis counter to me, and yeah, I think it'll do that job pretty well. But immunity is obviously a very strong buff, but still, I don't really know if you'd stick him into a bruiser draft other than to just speed contest something. This move seems pretty bonkers. I would love to see what cleavers do with this hero. I don't like Closer Charles was meant to, you know, kind of enable like the single target cleave. This one, I wonder if is like what is this hero counter? So it semi-counters Politis. Elena, maybe. You know, like against Cleaver, some people will draft like a fast Elena on Tome and be able to push up really fast, especially if she has effect resistance and can resist a lot of stuff. He has ignore effect resistance, and it blocks a lot of that CR push. So maybe it gives Cleavers an option against Elena. But either way, I mean, the Stigma is good. It's definitely good. But it's also a 2-buff cleansing, defense breaking move that does damage and gives him survivability and scales on damage. It's just like they just thought of all the good things they can put into an initiation move and just jammed it all in there. And you don't need any effectiveness on this guy. You just need to bring a mage with book, which can be kind of a limitation. But cleavers have plenty of books anyway, and they'll almost always draft 2. So you're going to get one through. Yeah, so I think this is going to be a pretty crazy cleaving here. I almost feel like it's like a much better version of Elfelt, if that makes sense. But that's one I don't think really matters. I mean, I think it'll do fine damage the way he'll be built, but it's not a very important part of his kit or anything. Obviously, I think even the S2 I don't think is all that important. This is the move that makes him, and then the thing that is really key is this: the fact that he's going to be one of the fastest heroes in the game. So these are my predictions. In a bruiser draft, I don't really think anyone's ever going to use him. He's definitely going to be on the squishy side if you make him fast. So bruiser draft, largely irrelevant. The only way you'll see him in a bruiser draft is if you're the one going bruiser and the other guy's trying to cleave you. This guy's so fast you could probably draft him as a anti-cleave. Why? Because immunity, a 2-turn immunity is going to be good. Remember, a lot of cleavers actually like using Politis, so this move helps a lot because Politis won't be able to shut you down right away. And then on top of that, I don't know how much damage he'll do, but if he's on Portrait and his damage scales based on speed, I suspect he can probably one-shot some really fast, squishy initiators like an Acid or something. I don't know, we'll have to see his multis, but I bet you some of the people with Godly Gear can easily get this thing to like 310 speed and still be able to one-shot some of the squishier initiation heroes. On top of that, the Stigma is going to neuter cleave teams, stopping them from using CR push. So I think this is going to be a very powerful anti-cleave unit. And what's a common theme with anti-cleave units? They tend to be very popular units with cleavers, right? Because cleavers are motivated to draft them because, number one, it stops the other guy from picking it to use it against them as anti-cleave. And two, sometimes they're just good. Like things like Politis and like AOL, where theoretically their kit looks like it's supposed to counter cleave, but it works very well in a cleaver's hands as well. So here, I mean, a super fast initiating hero like that attacks so you can push up CDOM, plus a double buff cleanse, which means you could shut down FCC as well. You reduce the healing and the CR push of the enemy. You death break for all your follow-up cleave, and you won't die instantly to one counter because of your skill null. This is beautiful. I think the cleavers will be really happy with this. And it's fine. I think it's fine. Gotta have options. Although I do think this hero is a bit strong. I think power creep is starting to make its way into Epic 7, but it is what it is, and we can't say that they aren't buffing old heroes. Things like Grapehead were pretty much dead in the meta, and now they're everywhere. So, we're going to see power creep, but I don't think it'll all be with new heroes. I think they'll just start buffing old ones as well. APOC Ravi is another good example. But yeah, it looks like there's a lot of heroes now. They're running low on ideas, so they're starting to introduce new mechanics like Stigma, and I think a lot of these kits are going to start getting a little bit bonkers. Like I said, Angel of Light Angelica, everyone saw that when it first came out, and they were like, holy bejesus. I don't think this one's as bad, but still looks pretty scary. So anyways, those are my thoughts on Ran. I could do a should you pull, but basically, if you love Cleave, I think it's a must pull. Looks like a very fun hero. Obviously, I'm going to go for him. I go for everything. But I think he'll be quite strong based on what I'm seeing. But who knows? I mean, the one main knock on him is he's water. So, Violet is going to poo-poo all over him, right? This is not an ML unit, but I mean, even ML units could miss on Violet. But, and he doesn't have a cannot be countered mechanic, and his S3 is an attack. So, if you run into, like, Violet and Rem, which is everywhere, Belian, you are kind of opening up yourself to just getting a bunch of counters to the face, but hey, that's for every single hero if that cannot be countered mechanic. So anyways, what do you guys think? Leave it in the comment section below. Did I miss something where they talked about it somewhere else and I'm not up to date? Fine, that's happened multiple times. I trust you guys. You can call me out. I don't read that crap. I don't want to watch that, whatever those two guys are who are negative Nancy's all the time. I just want to see these hero previews, and I know sometimes it's not always completely up to date. So anyways, thanks for watching. Till next time, boys. Peace out.